If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. We all need a good laugh, I think, right about now. This is the cringiest / funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Celebrities have gotten together and created one of these ridiculous videos now that they all do called I Take Responsibility. Before I play you the clip, I want to point out this is a video review of the celebrities and what they're saying. This has nothing to do with my opinion on anything that's going on. It has nothing to do with anyone's race. It's just for a good laugh looking at these actors, and boy, are they bad actors, who are literally reading off scripts, saying some of the most bizarre things I've ever heard, which I don't even know how this ties in with what's going on in the world. But look at their eyes, listen to what they say, and whew, we'll talk about it after. Take a look at this.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment,
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
every time I explained away police brutality or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters, our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
I will not turn a blind eye. Going for a job should not be a death sentence. Sleeping in your own home should not be a death sentence.
Playing video games with your nephew should not be a death sentence.
Shopping in a store should not be a death sentence. Business as usual should not be life-threatening. I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I will stand against hate in love. I will make my presence known.
And killer cops must be prosecuted. They are murderers. We can turn the tide. It is time to take responsibility. Call out hate. Step up and take action.
I mean, first of all, these are professional actors. They're reading for 5 seconds. They can't even get the script right. They got to read off of a cue card or whatever's being sent to them. Secondly, as a citizen, I mean, since we have such lazy news crews, I'm not any kind of a journalist. I don't give myself any kind of a title because I think it's ridiculous to even have titles in this world. But can somebody ask who wrote the script then? Because this isn't coming from anyone's heart. It's not coming from anyone's heart. Somebody wrote a script. They're all reading off of a script, no different than we see with all the newscasters with the Sinclair Broadcasting Group. And secondly, let's even take that part out for a second. These are the same people who are igniting all of this stuff. These are the same people who are constantly just being influencers, right? I mean, can't we find some films where some of these actors might have said something that could have been considered racy or Oh, but that's because it's just a movie, but that doesn't influence anyone. And secondly, what are they even talking about? Did I hear somebody say it's not fair that they can't sleep in their homes at night? That it's not fair that they can't go out to the store and get food and groceries and shop? What planet is this occurring on? Last I checked, I just went to the grocery store. What are they saying is apparently happening at the grocery, especially in liberal California? Are black people going down the aisles and people are chasing them out of the store saying, you're not allowed to shop here? Huh? Someone said something about black people not being allowed to play video games. What? What is that? Are they going on the PlayStation Network and getting thrown off? This stuff is ridiculous. You just saw the rollout with all of these actors begging people. Remember my video on stay home? Begging people to stay home, right? All I've said since I started my channel is how these people are the influencers. And that's why they need to be cut off. They need to be shut down. And it's starting to actually work and happen. Because you're seeing people who are just inherently, or I don't know what the proper word is, just naturally more gifted and talented speakers or more interesting people that people want to listen to. And nobody wants to listen to Will Smith on YouTube. Are you kidding me? Nobody wants to hear these clowns and what they have to say. They're realizing they're losing a stronghold. Look at the thumbs down on the video. Look at the ratio. I have never seen a ratio like that in my life on YouTube. 800, was it 600 to 800 thumbs ups? It's not in front of me right now. Hold on. Versus how many thumbs downs? 857 to 43,000. Get the message? There is an awakening happening. We're sick of you privileged frauds who worship Lucifer trying to convince us that we're bad and we're doing bad when you're the ones who are influencing people's behavior. And now you're influencing people into guilt and all this other stuff. When if everybody knew who was really behind all of it, who was manipulating the narrative of the media, who was manipulating the minds of the youth, you think you'd stand a chance? Suddenly you would just become some loser who is on a camera being filmed playing somebody in a movie. And trust me, in the time period we're living in, these people are losing their grip. I mean, the one guy in the beginning is like trying to fake cry and he can't even do it. They're holding their, is it Demi Lovato? Oh, it's Kesha holding her heart. They want to zoom in so we can see the 666 tattoos on her body. Or any of the other satanic crap that she's done. Go check out the videos I've done on Kesha, where she openly worships Satan. Oh, but, well, she's taking responsibility. For who? For what? What are they even talking about? What does this mean? It's like these stupid sayings they create in our society, like, it is what it is. Well, what does that mean? Is that supposed to just end the conversation? You're like, hey, you came over, you drove, you backed out of my driveway and you knocked my mailbox over. Yeah, well, it is what it is. What do you mean it is what it is? You get my mailbox. Yeah, it happened. It is what it is. Are you going to pay for it? Are you going to replace it? Are you going to try to put it back in? It is what it is. What are they taking responsibility for? Why don't they take responsibility for who they really worship? Huh? And tell the people out there, because I've said this a million times about all these Satanists out there who think they're smarter than us, right? They think we've eaten of the tree of knowledge. We're smarter. We know better. Oh, and these Christians don't. They live with a hateful, mean God. That's the stuff they always try to say. You're the ones who are ashamed to even admit who you worship. You have to use symbols and codes in your videos and in your interviews to show people who you worship because you're ashamed and embarrassed to worship that loser, low life, I can't even use the words I want to actually say, queer Lucifer. And, the word queer means kooky and eccentric. That's what I mean. You're the ones who worship him. But you can't admit that on camera. Why don't you take responsibility for that? Why don't you take responsibility for the rituals that you did and you partook in to become famous. We'd love to hear about them. Well, I don't know if we could stomach it, but why don't you tell the American people that instead of trying to herd them into some movement that you're creating that's dividing us, and then you're sitting at the top, oh, we take responsibility, we care, we want to help people. You don't care about anyone but yourselves and your God that you worship, Lucifer, who is the biggest turd that's ever fell from the sky. But I'll tell you what, you're the ones who at the end of the day, you're so ashamed of the God you worship, you can't openly admit it in public because you're embarrassed. People like me, I'll openly admit proudly, the only thing I'm proud of is to worship the King of Kings, the true King, Jesus Christ. Not that, I don't even know how to define that thing known as Lucifer without using an offensive word that'll offend people on YouTube. So this is what they put out there. This kind of crap. And people sit there and they go, I mean, thankfully from the thumbs down ratio, I'm hoping that people are looking and laughing because we saw this with the C-19. People were like, shut up. Shut these people up. Who do they think they are? Right? And, when I started my channel, and I know a lot of people give me slack because they were like, it's clickbait to talk about these people. No, it's not. It's actually clickbait to talk about the politicians. You get more clicks talking about Trump and Hillary and all that. I talked about these people because these are the ones who are the influencers. And then when you say, well, why is Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays a kid on Growing Pains and was in Titanic, why is he speaking at the UN? Because he's an actor in a movie? Oh, there's nothing suspicious about that. Oh, because they're using these people as influencers to groom society. Well, guess what? The grooming period, the brush you're using to groom people, you might want to wash it because it looks like it's got some mold in it. People aren't buying the act anymore. This is one of the most embarrassing, cringy things I've ever seen. It has nothing to do with race. They have no interest or care about anybody who is black, white, Hispanic. They don't care about any of us at all. Like I've said, we're going to them, and they're hurting us for their agenda. And they don't want you to know that message. But guess what? The cat's out of the bag. Or I should say, the clown's out of the box. I want to remind everyone, please check out my website at callforanuprising.com. $2.99 a month, no censorship over there. Who knows, this video will probably get flagged. Can't say anything about anything anymore when you're someone like me, because if it makes any sense, that it's really harmful, because we don't want people to use critical thinking skills, especially just using something like saying, why are they all reading off a script? Okay, who wrote the script? Who gathered these people together to do this? What's their past? Oh, their movies haven't influenced people? They're not in any movies that have any racial division in it? Please. They've been planning that in movies for decades upon decades since there was film. Just like they plant the other seeds for outbreaks and the need for vaccines and all this other stuff. All part of the show, folks. Unbelievable. I thank you again for listening. Doesn't get much more embarrassing than these people. Actually, it does. His name's Lucifer. Don't get much more embarrassing than that. Thank you guys again. God bless all of you and your families.